Hey.
All right, we're here.
Good morning, everybody.
Hi, you guys. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Saturday. Yay.
Sorry, we're a few minutes late. It's always some little thing here or there to kind of test our...
The mics weren't working.
Yeah, well...
So, but get this, we just had to turn it off and turn it back on.
I know, it told us, I know. The light was on showing us that the mics were working, but we weren't getting any sound, so... So anyway, how's everybody today?
Yeah.
How are you guys? What's going on this weekend?
Yeah, how's your Saturday starting?
Saturday?
Do you guys have your tea? Do you have your coffee? Ready to talk about plants and gardening?
Know. Good morning to Mark. Good morning to G. Good morning
Mark,
to Kim.
G, Kim.
Thank you guys for checking in the chat and letting us know you're here and saying hi.
Awesome.
We'd love to hear from you if you're with us today and just what's going on in your garden today or this weekend. So happy Memorial Day. We're going to be talking about memorial gardens today. We got some, we forgot to get our flags set up.
Happy Memorial Day, guys. Yep. Let's celebrate.
See if we can set this up somehow.
Can we do this right here? How do we
Maybe
do this?
like that. Okay. So good morning, Sherry. We're glad you're here. How are you?
Morning, Sherry.
Yay. It's a Memorial Day weekend for us in the U.S. It's a holiday, but it's also a remembrance, a really important day to remember those who have fallen in armed forces.
Yep, they're there. They've fought wars. They've bled. They've died for our rights, for our ability to exist. And so we need to remember that and honor that.
And that's on officially observed on Monday. So what we thought would be kind of fun this weekend is to just think about memorial gardens. So gardens that are created for the purpose of a memorial.
Yep.
And it doesn't have to be a sad thing. It can be a really happy, joyous event, a celebration. So we have some ideas we wanted to talk to you guys about and just kind of think about, what kind of plants would you put in a memorial garden? And maybe some of you've created one.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want to remember either about our fallen heroes or just that certain person that you've created a garden for to remember them by? And it could be anything. It could be, a cat statue because they loved cats or they had a favorite cat that reminds you of them, or
I love that.
they had a favorite dish that had a lot of herbs in it, and so you've created a remembrance herb garden type of thing. I mean, it could be anything at all. It could be a color, it could be a shape, anything. So it's really cool that we're able to do that and use plants in that fashion because it just feels good. It's nice to remember people and So
So we're going to get into that in a little bit. We're really excited to talk about that, and we'd love to hear from you if you have any ideas for your own memorial garden or any kind of garden that you've created like that. So
and guys, before we get going here too, let us know if our audio's good, if the video's good, if you're seeing any technical difficulties on your end, because we want to know. So
I know. We definitely want to make it better for you.
Yeah.
But we hope you're enjoying your weekend so far. Totally. Hopefully your weather is cooperating and you're able to get out and garden this weekend.
I mean, we just went through a little bit of a storm. We had a windstorm the last couple of days.
Yeah,
and
that
some
was
rain.
kind of nuts. I know.
And now it's sunny. It's calmed down. So we're going to have, the forecast says we're going to have some warmer weather and it's going to be nice. So hopefully it's the same where you're living too.
I know. I hope so.
Hey guys, and if you have any comments or questions, definitely throw them in the chat. If you're watching this in the replay, leave your comments down below for us. We'll get right back to you.
Yeah, I'm glad you reminded.
So, guys.
Wanted to say good morning to Amber.
Morning,
Amber says her double impatiens have made a full bloom comeback, and they are just gorgeous.
Awesome.
So we want to know what color they are.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
What color are we talking about, Amber? Cool.
So that is, impatiens are awesome. Just the fact that you can have a beautiful plant flowering in the shade.
Yep.
That's always such a cool feature.
Yeah, especially here in the Pacific Northwest, we really appreciate that.
We do. We have a lot of shade. We have a lot of tall trees.
Shade. So
that's fun.
Yeah, that's cool. So guys.
Yeah, should we get into some questions?
Yeah, let's do
what
questions. But make sure you got your coffee.
I know. Cheers to you guys.
Cheers. Happy Saturday.
Cheers. You got coffee streaming down your cup.
Hey.
We had a messy morning.
You know what? Don't judge.
Hey, however it gets.
Don't judge. That's right.
Okay, so we've got some great questions from the week. Really excited to be able to talk to you and be able to answer these on air and be able to just help you on by commenting and replying back on YouTube. We're so thankful to be able to do that. So thank you to all of you for your questions and comments, and keep them coming.
Yeah, definitely.
Really appreciate it.
They're fun. You guys are keeping us on our toes.
Oh, definitely. Okay, so so is the name No Main Jane?
I think so.
That's cool. No Main Jane asked. So regarding Dusty Miller, we did a Dusty Miller plant chat. Gosh, is that last year?
Something like that.
Boy, all our videos are starting to blend together.
We've done a couple.
We've done a few. So, so Dusty Miller Care. The question is from No Main Jane. Do you make it bushier by cutting the tips or taking leaves off, or both? So they want to know how to make their Dusty Miller bushier.
Mm-hmm. Right? Sounds like, yep, they want to increase the size of it, its width, not so much the height. So great question, Jane. Thank you for asking it. Basically, I went out and I cut
That's cute.
a little piece off, our sacrificial piece here. So this Dusty Miller, beautiful plant. And the way to make it bushier, the way to get it to grow out instead of up, is definitely definitely get the tips, because this is your growing point right here. You can see there's a little bit of a growing point right there. And this is the end of a stem. This was actually the tallest point of the plant when I went out and cut it this morning. That's perfect,
because we probably would have wanted to cut it anyway.
It's, I was thinking, yeah, we wanted this to be bushier too. So, hey. So thank you, Jane, for motivating us to go out and do this. So what you want to do, Jane, is find the pieces where you want to cut your Dusty Miller, the area where you want to bring it down or just get bushier. And if you want to bring it down, go further down into the canopy, but definitely try and keep as much green as possible. And never, and just a general rule of thumb, never prune more than a third of any plant, just for its general health, and it doesn't go into shock and it doesn't stimulate it to really grow. Because if you cut more than a third on a lot of different plants, a general rule of thumb, it'll stimulate it to then grow even more and get a new flush of growth. If that's what you want, well then, go to it. But we don't usually encourage people to shock and stress their plants.
Okay.
So, okay, Jane, answer your question. Yes. Come in here, big plant, here's the top, you want it to get bushier, come in, cut it right about here. You can just, I don't have my trimmers here, but I'll just do that. So you would take the tip off and you would cut it, better cleaner cut there. And then what will happen is it will get bushier and it'll start growing from just above these leaf axils here, these stems of these leaves coming off right along the stem. There's little buds in here, and you probably can't see them.
See those. Yeah,
but
they're tiny.
They're tiny little buds, and because this was growing, these buds were being dominated by this top tip, this tip growth. Now that this is going to be gone, if this was on the plant, these buds would now say, "Oh, we're not dominated by this tip. We can start growing out this way, and we'll get bushier. We'll establish new stems and new leaves and a lot more biomass." And that's definitely how you would want it to get bushier. So
that's cool.
Yeah, it's not super complicated. It's just kind of thinking about what's going on with the plant
and where to make your cuts, right?
Yep,
and
just... So, and definitely, yeah, if you want your plant to get bushier, but you also want to shape it and give it more of a form, just try to make your cuts individually on any of the stems that you're cutting around the same level from the top, and then taper them down, whatever. So. But yeah, so that's pretty much it.
That's cool.
Hopefully that answered Jane's question.
Dusty Miller is such a cool plant too. This is one that we want to propagate this year by cuttings. We've been talking about that. That's on our list for an upcoming video. So as usual, we'll do our cuttings. We'll probably do soil and some in rooting hormone, some without, and then some in water, just to see how they do.
Totally, yeah, it's gonna be fun.
Yeah, a little bit of an experiment.
If you don't know, we like to propagate things.
We do like to propagate things.
Some of our biggest videos have been propagating different plants around our garden, especially lavender.
Yeah, we have a lot of lavender still to plant this year. They're all in bloom. They're beautiful. It's really fun, and it just feels so good to know that you were able to kind of increase the size and space of your garden by just taking cuttings, and now you have all these new plants.
I know.
It's fun.
Yep, it is fun. Yep, and you get to repeat that same beauty over and over and over again as many times as you really want with cuttings. So
I know, that's so fun. I love that.
Cool. Thank you, Jane, for your question.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys, let's see. What do we have next? We just a couple within this past week. We did a May garden tour, and thank you if you happened to watch that. We were that was a lot of fun to film, but we were also kind of like, gosh, we don't really have that much in bloom yet. I mean, it's kind of transition between seasons a little bit. We just have so many projects going on.
Getting to the tail end of spring and
kind of starting. We just have
lots
projects.
Of projects. We have a lot to update you guys.
We have construction projects going on all over
front yard, backyard.
So we're a little tired today. There's been a lot of shoveling lately. But okay, so I digress. Back to May garden tour. There was a question from Neri. Not sure. Alamoni?
Ailman.
Okay, sorry if I'm not reading that correctly. So Neri asks, is there any particular reason why you guys don't have water features?
It's a really good question.
That's a great question.
Yeah, I mean, Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was just thinking, so water features around the yard, like fountains or ponds or any other type of like waterfalls or
streams with pumps. I mean, anything like a water feature that has a pump system to regulate the water and move it around. It'd be great. It'd be fun to have it. Our time's just been kind of limited on different projects.
Definitely.
But also, water features, they take a lot of work and a lot of effort that right now we don't have a lot of extra time or effort to put into, especially with keeping systems up like pumps. And then also, we have mosquitoes.
Yeah.
And we don't want to let the mosquito larvae give somewhere for the mosquitoes to repopulate and reproduce. So there's different ways to take care of that, but it's also something that is can be hard to control. So that's another reason why we haven't really gotten into that yet. We do have our bird baths, as you probably already know.
And I'm kind of laughing too, because we actually do have a really cute little fountain that kind of bubbles, and it's like a 3-tiered little fountain. And I kind of, we were walking around, I think I was filming at this moment, and I kind of caught it in the camera, and I kind of quickly veered away because it was so dirty. I was all embarrassed because we hadn't cleaned it out yet. So we actually do have that.
We do have that, yeah.
And we just keep them really clean because they also get really inundated with algae.
Yep.
So it was just covered in green.
Yeah, each tier.
Yeah,
there's like 3 tiers of it, and it's just...
Yeah, we didn't even have it turned on yet. It was like, oh, we need to clean that.
In our climate too, it's just, and maybe in a lot of your climates out there too, even if the water's moving, you might not have the mosquitoes because the water's moving constantly, so that's good. It keeps the mosquito larvae out. They can't reproduce.
Yeah.
But we still get algae. It still happens. And so that's another maintenance thing that we need to keep up because it doesn't look very well. Doesn't look very good, but also we have our wildlife to come in and drink the water, and we would hate for them to get sick.
I know, because really the only way to get that algae out is to use like a bleach water solution, and that makes us really nervous because we catch animals on our cameras all the time drinking out of those fountains, so we're like, oh. Yeah. So it's kind of a dilemma.
Yeah, there's probably a vinegar solution out there.
I know,
that
we should look into that.
But I mean, it's just another added thing that we got to get to and do. So it's like, well, we'll add more water features in the future.
It's
maybe.
like,
but right now we're pretty good.
It's kind of like on the list, but we've got to get the terrace and all these other projects kind of in play first. But that's a cool question. Do you guys have any water features in your garden?
Yeah.
We love them. I mean, we would love to add more, as we, Eventually.
Yeah, if you do have any water features, you're here today, let us know in the chat. We'd love to hear your ideas or what you have and how you make it work in your garden.
I know, that'd be really fun.
That would be awesome.
Let's pause really quick and say good morning to Sharon LaFay. Good morning. Good morning, Real Jingy.
Morning, Real Jingy.
Hi, you guys. Sorry we're a little behind on the chat because we're talking about the questions, but there's some fun stuff going on in the chat about impatience. And you guys were mentioning, let's see, let me get caught up here. Kim had some really awesome tips for Amber about taking the impatiens and holding them in your hand and like popping them, and like kids really love getting the seeds out of them that way.
Oh,
so
fun.
That's a really fun tip.
I've never done that.
I know, that's cool.
That would be interesting. Cool.
So the seeds are really large apparently. We haven't had impatiens in a while. Yeah, you guys, that's cool. So great. I love that you guys are able to share tips and ideas online. That's just so much fun. That gives us a lot of joy.
Plant enablers.
Plant enablers. Yay. So yeah, you guys, this is let's keep going here. So, Science Sunday. Wow, this was last year. We used to do kind of themed days because we had so many videos to film.
Those were fun to do.
Science Sundays were fun. We really both enjoyed those a lot. So we did a testing soil drainage video.
Oh, that was a fun one.
That's the one where we had that that plastic sheet, that product that you created, and then we had the little...
It was the plexiglass.
The plexiglass thing.
Yeah, the see-through plexiglass, and we cut...
We had the containers on the outside, right?
Yeah, we took the 1-gallon containers, cut them directly in half, duct taped them to this plexiglass, and then filled them with different types of soil media to test the drainage, to how fast they drain.
That was fun.
And we made our own predictions, and I know I didn't get it. I know I didn't get it right. I thought it was going to be the sand. And I think it was the potting soil.
I predicted sand too.
Yeah, I think the potting soil drained the fastest, which kind of surprised both of us. But it was fun. So
that's okay. So Romal Lazi, used compost this year in all of their containers because it's way cheaper. Do you think I should be fine, or will my plants get root rot?
So it's a really good question, and maybe you guys have heard this before, but it kind of depends. With a lot of gardening stuff, it depends.
It depends.
It depends on the plants. Kamal. It depends on which plants you have in those pots with that soil. If the plants like high organic matter and they really thrive in that, that's great. Usually compost, there's different kinds of compost out there, and depending on how finely ground it is and the particles are in it, or how coarse it is, it definitely will impact your drainage through the material and through around the plant roots and then out the pot. So that right there will determine a lot of times if you're going to be okay with that plant in that situation. A lot of plants really like well-draining soil, and again, if you have compost that's kind of more medium, a medium-sized, not so fine-grained or ground or anything, that'll be really good. Even if it's fine ground though, some plants really like that too. Again, it depends on the plants. If they like nutrient-rich soil, if they like well-draining soil, they're going to do pretty good. They're going to do good in the compost. And I totally hear you about the cost of things. Everything's going up. So, I mean, even Allison and I, with our projects, are like, how do we cut costs here? How are we going to make that work? So we get it. And so look at your plants individually and see what their actual soil and water requirements are. Some plants have very specific requirements. Some don't. Some will grow in almost anything. It just kind of depends on which plants it is. So hopefully that helps.
That's kind of with gardening, there's so many questions or answers like that. It just kind of depends. You definitely need more information.
Oh, right? Totally. Yeah. I mean, for this question, we want to help you, Kamal. So if you watch this and you have more specific information you want to give us and we can help you more, email us at seanandallison@spokengarden.com and we'll get right back with you. We'll help you with that. Also, I want to say the drainage, what I just told you about the drainage and the soil makeup stuff. Your plant should do okay in all those if they're okay with that, but also all other things being equal, you're watering on a regular schedule for what they need, and their sun requirements, their light requirements are being met, and their nutrient requirements are being met. So all other things being equal, check the soil type of each plant and the water needs of each plant. Oh, and make sure your containers have drainage holes.
Definitely.
Yeah, so, okay.
Yeah, that's
good
awesome.
Stuff. Woo.
All right.
Really good question.
Really good question.
Yeah.
So, okay, so really quick break into the chat. Good morning, Connie from Corvallis.
Morning,
Thank
Connie.
you for joining us. How are you doing today, and what's on your garden task list this weekend?
What's going on in the Willamette Valley?
I know, and there's a really fun conversation going on about armadillos in the garden right now, and we don't have armadillos here.
Oh my gosh, really?
So I want to know more.
What's going on with armadillos in the garden?
We were mentioning how, having more water around your yard, you're definitely going to attract a lot more wildlife.
Oh, yeah, totally.
And Kim Matlock was mentioning how she's been battling. She said she's waged war with an armadillo this week. So we would love to hear. I mean, I'm sorry that's happening to you. That must be really frustrating.
I'm not laughing. I'm not laughing at your situation either. It just makes me kind of. It's kind of interesting to think about an armadillo.
I know.
War.
I want to know
war
more.
with an armadillo. What's that like?
What's that like? What do they get into? Are there certain plants? I totally want to know more about this.
I know. We don't have them up here.
We don't have them.
They're not. They just don't live up here. So yeah, it's like, what is that like?
What
do you do? What kind of damage do they do?
Because we can sympathize a little bit. Like we've been raging war. Can't even say it. With squirrels all week. I mean, all year. We have at least 4 to 5 squirrels consistently in our yard. Upwards of 9 sometimes. They just flock to our yard and they get into everything. They dig everything. They chew on things.
Knocking stuff over.
It's a mess.
Yep.
So
uprooting plants. It's gotten so bad that we see them almost every time we look outside in our backyard. There's actually, we've come up with little songs and little personalities for them, and it's crazy.
They're crazy.
They're everywhere.
So yeah, let us. I know. Gosh, there's so many. So yeah, we would love to hear more about the armadillos, and I'm
garden armadillo.
Armadillos. So I'm imagining they must dig and eat things. And,
they must, yeah. I don't know.
So
we need to know more.
Yeah, we need more. And then Real Genie said that his mom put a koi pond in their backyard. That sounds awesome.
That's awesome.
And it has a massive elephant ear growing near it.
Sweet.
So
that must be beautiful.
That's really. I've been having fun propagating from this beast of a bulb since her passing. Oh, that's awesome! You've been able to propagate it. Now, what a nice memory.
Totally.
Yeah,
that's really
being able to propagate something that she planted. That's awesome. Talk about a memorial garden right there. That's exactly what we're talking about later today. Okay. Oh, okay. So Amber chimed in about armadillos. They eat bugs more than anything, but they root and dig up her dad's elephant ears in small trees.
Oh.
My goodness.
Wow.
Boy, they get pretty destructive, it sounds like. They've got those like claws.
They must be, I mean, I really don't know much about
armadillos. I don't know either.
How big do they get? I'm guessing they get bigger than squirrels.
Real Jingy called them Arizona speed bumps.
Oh, Real Jingy. That's a good one.
That's a good one. So anyway, we'll move on from armadillos, but please, if you have any more information, we would love to. We'd love to learn more about.
Yeah, we want to learn more.
So okay, moving on to pruning pompous grass.
Pruning pompous grass.
Penny Hoffman had a great question. Thank you, Penny.
Yeah, thanks, Penny.
Penny has a miniature pompous grass. What does that say, honey?
In an urn.
Oh, okay. Can't read Sean's handwriting. Mini pompous grass in an urn. She trimmed them back just like our video showed. Mm-hmm. The grass is coming back beautifully, but the plume is not. And she's wondering, does it take longer for the plume to bloom?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's a really good question, and it was from our pruning pompous grass video. Oh yeah, we're out of focus.
We are out of focus.
Yeah. So Penny and anybody else out there that's pruning your pampas grass, something you want to take into consideration is pampas grass bloom at different times of the year depending on which pampas grass it is. The pampas grass that we showed you in that video that we did, they bloom actually here in our climate. They bloom in like late winter, early spring, depending on microclimates and whatnot. Now the the miniature or dwarf pampas grass, there's a couple different times of year that they bloom as well, and it's not early spring or late winter. Some of them bloom in the middle of summer, end of summer. Some bloom in fall. It just depends on which cultivar variety you have, and so definitely take that in consideration when looking for those plumes, those flower plumes. And then it also depends on when you pruned. So if you pruned early in the spring and your plant actually flowers, your miniature pampas grass flowers in the summer, it should still flower, it should recover, but it also depends on when or how far down you pruned it. If you gave it a really heavy pruning, like you left like maybe this much of the crown when it was like this big and you just got like stubs in the crowns right there, it might not bloom this year. It depends because you've got all the plumes, the stems or stalks of those flowers coming up within that mass of the grass there. And so if you cut those really far back, there's a chance it might not. But it all depends on when you prune it too. Usually you want to prune it, pretty much any plant, after it's done flowering. That way it goes through its growth and reproductive cycles. You get to enjoy the flowers and blooms in your yard, and then they wither, and then you can cut them back. So there's a couple different things to think about in that, but hopefully that gives you, Penny, and anybody else out there pruning the pampas grass, some things to think about and strategize when you're pruning it back and shaping it.
No, that's really good. I think a miniature pampas grass is cute, and the idea of putting it in a container sounds kind of fun too.
It does, yeah,
especially an urn.
Especially an urn, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Well, I'm remembering back to our ornamental grass live. We didn't cover the miniature size of pampas grass, but I can't remember how big they get. Do you remember the size?
And again, it depends on which one too. Some get 2 feet, some get 4 feet, some get 6 feet, and they're still, all of those are considered miniature.
I know. Well, the normal size are like 15 feet tall.
Yeah,
with
they
their
can
plumes,
get
aren't they?
huge.
They're huge.
Yeah, they can get really big. So it's but fun plant, beautiful plant. So hopefully that helps you, Penny.
No, I hope that helped. Okay, I guess that's it for the questions. We've got a great question in the chat from Sharon LaFay in Corvallis.
Sure.
So the question is, can you recommend any fast-growing vines in partial shade for Zone 8B?
We have a couple.
I know what you're thinking because it's the first thought I had too.
Go ahead.
Well, my thought was, yes, we can. There are several, actually, that I can think of, 2 of which you're probably not going to want to plant because they're considered pretty invasive.
They can be.
But they really would grow pretty fast.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the same ones?
Well, I'm thinking definitely of periwinkle, vinca.
Oh, that's true. I didn't think of that as a vine, but more of a ground cover.
Yeah.
So
a vine growing up, though, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm
thinking morning glory. There's different types of morning glory.
Yes, there are.
I mean, really, morning glory is actually very beautiful. It gets a bad name around here because it gets very invasive.
It's very invasive. It'll grow in almost any situation. I mean, I've seen it grow in junipers, in a juniper hedge 15 feet up. And it just takes over and shades out. It'll kill a whole juniper plant.
I mean, it's kind of like, where are you planning on putting the vine? You know, like, are you trying to cover an area? Do you care if it takes over? Because if you don't care, I would highly recommend morning glory or even English ivy. But then your English ivy can be such a nightmare because then you're going to be trying to control it forever.
Yeah. Try also wisteria.
Oh,
wisteria is a good
beautiful.
one. We had to take one out in our yard just because it was in the wrong place for us. It was growing up the side of the house.
Yeah, it shouldn't have been planted there.
It just wasn't a great spot. We couldn't put it anywhere else, so we just took it out. But it does grow fast. Also, clematis. Clematis will grow really well if it's placed right, sited right in your garden, and So hopefully those are all good options for you.
I mean, there's several.
Piners, vine growers. Go ahead.
Vine growers, because there's several this time of year, right? If you're looking for just a quick annual for summer, I mean, there's lots of different options for that matter. But if you're looking for a perennial that you know will just come back year after year,
Jasmine's another good one.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that smell.
That would be a good one for Zone 8B.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. So hopefully that helps you.
I know.
Yeah.
I have to go back to morning glory for a minute. I mean, again, it is invasive, but the leaves are so beautiful. They just have these just pretty little heart-shaped leaves. I think they're so pretty.
Yeah, profuse white flowers. Sometimes
they're other colors.
They're like pink. You can find pink varieties. You can find purple varieties, I think, that are out there. So, and they're just beautiful. They're just profuse, but watch out.
Well, and okay, so
they grow real crazy.
So Sharon chimed in. She said she wants something to climb. And cover a fence, but nothing invasive. So scratch morning glory from that list. I would look at clematis. I like that idea.
Yeah, clematis. Yeah,
it's such a beautiful.
You could plant them you could plant like 4 or 5 of them, depending on how long of a fence section you want to cover. In my opinion, I would put them on their own trellis off of the fence. I wouldn't let them grow on the fence, especially if it's wood, because it can create kind of some cover for critters. It can also trap moisture and dirt and different things that can deteriorate your fence, especially a wood fence, faster. If it's a metal fence, do it. That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
But
that does depend. Because, like, for example, my mom, we've been helping her with her yard as much as we can, and she has this gorgeous, just beautiful old wisteria, but it's literally pulling the fence down. Yeah. I mean, the entire fence has to be repaired. It's so heavy. It's just...
It's growing through the fence. It's growing up and over. It's really top-heavy.
Really top-heavy.
It's beautiful.
It's gorgeous, though. Oh, my gosh.
The blooms are amazing.
But it should have maybe been planted away from the fence where, it's kind of on its own structure and then kind of cascading over the fence.
They get so heavy, too. It's almost like, and I think we suggested this, it needs to be almost on an arbor, its own arbor system. Like posts with a beam going across, and it can wrap around it, and you can just keep it on that. But anyway, but really cool idea.
Yeah,
and
there's so many.
That sounds like a really fun
project. Sounds like a fun project. I was thinking also one more to add, maybe just a beautiful climbing rose. That's good for our zone. Yeah. That would be a good one, because then perennial. I mean, when you get into roses, there's so much care. Yeah. We're finding that we have this gorgeous rose in our garden that's actually in bloom right now, and my grandma planted it. It's this. We have a picture to show you a little later. It's this beautiful light pink color. Infested with aphids right now. Yeah, we didn't even realize they were there.
Yeah, and we've had an interesting spring. It's been a little warmer. And the aphids have just really liked the climate right now. They've loved the weather so far.
It's so bizarre too. These aphids are moving. They moved from one of our hellebores to our rose, and I think we had seen them somewhere else before that. I forget where, but what a mess. So anyway, you guys.
Well, hopefully those ideas will work for you.
Yeah, those are. It's always fun to plan, a specific thing you want, and now you get to narrow down and just pick out, exactly, get the one that fits your needs.
Totally.
That's fun.
Yeah, it is nice. Yeah. So cool.
Okay, so
all right.
Sorry,
questions answered.
We're moving on to memorial gardens. We're going to talk about some ways to create a memorial garden, what it is first of all, and what kind of plants maybe that you could use or that you could look for in a memorial garden.
Yeah, and it's some people go with the good old red, white, and blue. Some people go with very specific things for to remember specific people and their likes and dislikes and just how to remember them. So it's going to be really cool, guys. So
Yeah, just to give ideas, right? I mean, this, and you know what's kind of interesting, and we've never done this, but I think this is on our list now. There are like probably memorial gardens in your area, or even maybe within your state, that you know, like a public garden that you could visit, you know, and just experience that with.
There we are. Cool.
There we are. Cool.
There we are.
So that's an option too. We were going to put a list together for you guys, and then we kind of ran out of time. So sorry about that. But
but there's a lot of different options for you to go visit different memorial gardens, more than likely in your area or region.
Yeah.
And if you're comfortable with that, or there's a lot of virtual tours
virtual.
out there
That's right.
too.
We were looking into virtual tour.
Yeah, we came across a virtual tour for Pearl Harbor, actually, talking about you know, Memorial Day, and we were looking at that. And you got to be there on site to take it. It's a virtual reality type of thing.
That's right. It had those goggle things.
It's really fun. That's an option. Those kind of things are out there. So definitely do your homework. Go hunt for something and find what you want to do.
Yeah.
So
interesting.
Yeah. So guys, so with that,
this is kind of a busy slide. We had a lot to talk to you about, but a memorial garden, we just want to start with just kind of a general definition. It's a garden planted with the intention of honoring and reminding us of fallen soldiers, or it could be not related to that, but related to someone in your family or a close friend or someone in your life that you had a special connection with, that you want to create this type of garden to remember them by.
Yep. And it can be both together too.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean,
there's
so many options.
Yep. So, but you know, definitely, like we said before, they can include red, white, and blue plants, and we're going to give you some specific plants on that in a minute. And then there's also plants that have very specific meanings or are known for different things because of memorial gardens or in memory of, and so we'll show you some of those too. It's fun. And also, memorial gardens can have different garden art, like sculptures and angels and different things out there. It's fun because you can really get really creative and make it very personable, very personal. And we need that because that's what helps us remember. So
I know, I like that. It's very unique. And that's why, and there's really, and kind of the last bullet point there's really no set rule to creating one. It's just...
It's whatever you want to do.
It's whatever you want. It's whatever reminds you of a person or even situation or whatever you want to do. It's just finding it's really about just finding that space in your garden. Maybe it's just a little container garden area where you create something that reminds you of something. You know, it's as simple as that.
Yep. Just the only caveat, and we got it here on the screen, make sure that if there's plants you're placing in your garden for that remembrance, for that memorial, make sure that the plants will live and thrive there. And that, you know, sun, soil, water, the basic plant needs. Yeah. Those are really the only set rules for this if you're using plants for the memorial garden.
Yeah.
So otherwise, wide open.
Wide open.
So pretty cool. So
this was fun to put together, and there's so many more on this next slide. So these are ideas for, this is if you want to create just like a garden with specific red, white, and blue plants, or there's some other plants that we'll mention here in a minute. So plant ideas for memorial gardens.
Yeah, this is really cool. There's, you know, we've got it broken down here in red, white, and blue. You can basically take your pick of a lot of these because a lot of these different plants will work really well together with those different colors. And thankfully, a lot of these plants, petunias not only come in red, they come in white, they come in blue. You could do a whole like pot or you could do a planting in your garden of nothing but petunias, red, white, and blue if you wanted to. Or, you know, if you wanted to plant it for somebody specific and their specific color, their favorite color was purple. You know, there's a lot of these plants, especially the salvia.
I love
you know,
salvia.
There's lots of different shades of purple. You could do a different shade of purple with like 5 different salvias in your garden, and that could be your memorial garden, or mix it all up.
I know and like you said, just making sure, like you can see on the red list, we've got a lot of full sun plants, but we've also got shade plants on there. Like, so petunias, now poppies. Some of you may already know this, but poppies are like a top plant, I guess you can think of, or flower for planting in a remembrance or memorial garden.
Yeah, peace.
Poppies.
Yep, and rosemary too. Rosemary means remembrance. It's known to be known for remembrance, remembering somebody. So it's kind of a universal type of thing. And
yeah,
so
you know, I didn't know that. I didn't realize that rosemary was like
me either. Until we started doing the research for today, I didn't know that either, and it's fun.
I
It's
think that's
because
really nice.
it's such a versatile plant. There's a lot of people have rosemary in their garden, maybe for remembrance, maybe not. You know,
I mean, you just think of the culinary or the just the benefits of it.
herb.
But other red plants, so we've got dahlias, gerbera daisies, impatiens, verbena, salvia coleus. So there's another shade plant.
Yeah, I love this list.
For white plants, but as you know, there's so many more. White plants, geraniums, phlox, roses, oriental lilies, baby's breath, calla lilies, snapdragons, any type of plant that could be planted in a moon garden, right?
Oh, moon gardens.
Could have added that too.
Yeah, totally. Moon
Lots of options.
Yeah, but yeah, this is a great list, and there's a lot more. We're just skimming the surface here. So just wanted to give you guys some good ideas, some easy ideas, and things actually that are very available out at the local nurseries and big box stores. So
yeah, a lot of these. Wait, before we.
Oh.
So if you look at the other ideas in the bottom right corner there, so we already mentioned the rosemary, but there's some really specific plants, and we just found a couple to add to our list. But there's a peace lily, there's a freedom alstroemeria, and there's a patriot hosta.
Patriot hosta.
And that's a picture of that patriot hosta. We actually have one in our yard. It's not that big, but we just planted it last year.
Last year.
It is so beautiful. It's just, it has these white edges all the way around the green leaf. It's a beautiful hosta.
Yeah, beautiful variegation.
So that's a fun one. Yep. So, you can mix it up with, in your memorial garden. If it's specifically for like an armed forces related thing, then those are some fun names. There's a lot of others out there too.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. So, okay. So now we're going to give you an idea of a recipe, we're calling them. We might have used that in the past here. So here we go. So here's a first recipe for a full sun memorial garden, and this is cool because these plants are super simple. Once you get them grown, they're really easy to take care of. There's not a lot of maintenance with them. These are definitely full sun, beautiful plants. So first one there on the left is a red poppy, and poppies are just beautiful all by themselves. But see that red? It's just so bright. I love it. And then,
I love that.
Then the white geraniums, that's the plant there on the far right, that would be beautiful too, especially with that red. It'll really bring that red out. And then, blue salvia. Who doesn't like blue salvia? I mean, come on. We always think of salvia in more of a purple, a type of hue of purple, different shade of purple, but they do actually have a blue flowered salvia, and they're beautiful. So this is just a real quick recipe idea for you. 3 quick plants, easy to find plants in your nurseries to put all together and have a memorial garden. So
I love that.
Yeah, really cool.
There really are just so many options.
Yeah, and all these 3 plants, definitely full sun, regular watering, but can take heat, and also can take a little bit of drought. So that's good. And then well draining soil. Yeah, very versatile plants, all of them. So really fun, easy recipe there. Okay, recipe 2.
This is a fun one.
Yeah, do you want to do this?
So for partial shade gardens, there's so many options that, as we've said, we love partial shade or even almost full shade. But it would be fun to mix and match. Like you can see in the top, we've got a patriot hosta, which is on the far right picture there. And then you could even put that in the center and surround it with red, white, and blue. Or you could, kind of design it. We didn't say how many to add because we figured these are just ideas.
Yeah, it just depends on your space and what you have available. So take that in consideration with these 2 recipes.
Yeah, totally.
Or anything else you're going to plant.
Totally,
so.
Yeah. But then we thought, it'd be fun to add red impatiens, white phlox, forget-me-nots.
Oh, yeah.
Those are so beautiful. And then just like a beautiful red coleus. Yeah. And you could kind of mix and match those around.
Yeah, very pretty. Very nice.
And we didn't get into, we could have kept going with recipes, but this was a hard one because it's so personal to everybody. Kim shared a really wonderful story in the chat. She was given a peony bush when her mother passed away about 26 years ago, yesterday.
Oh, wow, Kim.
It's the anniversary.
Okay. Yeah.
And every single year she takes the first bloom from that peony bush and lays it on her mother's grave.
Oh,
that's a wonderful tribute.
Great. Wow.
That's really touching.
Wow.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you, Kim.
So, and then we heard earlier from Real Jingy that he's able to propagate elephant ear parts from a plant, or bulbs that his mother planted near their
Oh, yeah.
koi pond. So
Cool. That's nice.
I know.
That's really nice.
Yeah, we didn't want today to be all sad. And,
Yeah, we don't. Yeah. So, but
I mean,
it's
it's loving though.
those are beautiful.
They're beautiful
We love hearing
stories,
that.
and we don't want to make everybody sad, but it's a lovely tribute.
Yep. It is.
So we really appreciate that. And then there's some chat going on with aphids, and we're going to come back to that.
Wah! Aphids.
I know we hate aphids. So yeah, basically, you guys, this was kind of it for the memorial gardens. It's just putting that idea out there for you. I've never really thought of making a memorial garden, but it's such a wonderful idea.
Yeah, it is. It's fun, and we have a little bit of space. We could do something like that if we wanted to.
Well,
yeah.
I guess personally for me, I kind of feel like almost half of the yard that we live, that we garden in is a memorial.
Oh.
Kind of, because for me, it's like my grandparents planted a lot of the things here, and
That's true.
there's a lot of memories of them. It's like we didn't plant it, but we're kind of living in it, so that's kind of a nice feeling.
We're perpetuating their love of plants in a way,
and we're bringing your knowledge of your family history, and so we're kind of combining it that way. That's
There you
cool.
go. Yeah, that's nice.
Oh.
So, do we want to pause here and do?
Yeah, let's pause
do
and
some aphid.
Yeah,
talk?
let's
Is
talk
there
about some
aphid
aphids.
talk? Cool.
Connie Graham was mentioning she also has aphids attacking her plants. We're sorry to hear that.
Sorry, Connie.
And she was mentioning she cannot believe how many aphids can attack one plant and one stem in particular, and then like nothing on the plant next to it. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, and
They're so just.
it can get so thick sometimes it's actually kind of gross.
It is gross.
So, but when you treat it and when you spray them, whether it's with water or soap and water or something else, it can be very satisfying to get all of that mass of little green, black, or white, or whatever color they are, yellow aphids
Brown.
off of there. Yeah.
Our poor roses have, I think I saw every color of aphid on there, and that was disgusting. Sherry has a great idea she saw about aphids, placing yellow solo cups covered with Vaseline on a stick and placing them in the garden.
Wow.
She said she wasn't able to find yellow cups, so her neighbor spray painted white ones.
Okay.
And then just spraying every week. I mean, Sean and I have been on an almost daily rotation lately. I mean, we have in the past.
Every other, we did every other day with our hellebore out in the front yard.
That poor hellebore.
Just like you, Connie, it was covered. I mean, inside the old flowers, outside the old flowers, along the stem, under the leaves, on top of the leaves. I mean, the plant was just inundated. I think we went through a whole bottle of spray. Yeah, it was. We went through a whole bottle of spray of water and soap mixture, like dish soap. So 10% dish soap.
And some people use vinegar too, I think.
90% water. Yeah, and there's other formulations out there, but that one seems to work really well for us.
Yeah.
But just crazy coverage. So.
Well, and then you look at this plant, probably like you did, Connie, and you're just like, where do these all come from? I mean, there's like millions of them. It looks like it's just gross.
Well, and something to think about with aphids is. They don't like thick leaves. They don't like super waxy leaves. Most of the time, they like a leaf that's soft, usually newer leaves that have lots of nutrients in them. And sometimes it's kind of interesting. There's studies out there that have shown that insects, and especially aphids, they're drawn to plants that have some type of stress, whether it's water stress, drought stress. And the water stress, it could be too much water in the plant stress, or it could be not enough water in the plant stress. And when that plant's under stress, it's almost like it signals for these aphids or other pests to come in and then be a secondary stress on the plant, because the plant's under stress, it's vulnerable, and it can't fight off those aphids very well. And so they get in there. And sometimes that's why you see one plant versus another next to each other, why they're on one and not another. It could be because of the stress, but it also could be just because of their structure and how soft their leaves are versus how thick and leathery their leaves are. It just kind of depends. There's a lot of different factors.
That's so interesting to think about. A lot of people are talking about or have talked about trap crops, like for your vegetables and whatnot. I know our friend Jessica Walliser has an amazing book called Plant Partners. I think we've mentioned this before. So the whole book's about companion planting and taking different plants and planting them around, different vegetables and whatnot. And I think it's nasturtiums and squash.
Yep.
So nasturtiums, and it's sad because I want to see the nasturtiums, but they can be a great trap crop to keep aphids away.
And basically you're sacrificing the plant, plant, as that trap crop to pull any potential pests away from the plants you want to protect. And so you're sacrificing the plants, basically. But it works. It really works really well, and it's definitely something to consider.
Yeah, there's a lot of research out there, and scientific-based research that talks about which certain plants to plant to keep them away from other plants. So that might be worth looking into. I mean, I know that's some things that we're trying this year as well.
Yeah, be fun to try.
I know.
Yeah. So
it's worth a try.
Yeah.
So yeah, aphids are gross. We hate aphids.
Go ahead.
Delphina, good morning, Delphina. Thanks for joining us. Delphina said she hasn't noticed any aphids, but has noticed tons of earwigs, and they ate all of her zinnia seedlings.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So sorry to hear that.
Isn't that crazy? I mean, before, a couple years ago, I never would have thought that that earwigs would actually eat plant parts, but they will.
Oh, they ate our dahlias a couple years ago.
They'll eat the flower. They'll eat the flowers like our Shasta daisies. They'll get in the buds before they even open.
The Shastas too.
And they get right in there. They'll eat the flower pieces out of it. So then when it flowers, it looks like this anemic, spindly looking little flower, and it's just like, how did that happen? Well, it's the earwigs.
That's such a bummer. I know. I guess we maybe have an episode about some pest control coming up in our future here.
Yeah, we could
make a note about that.
Yeah, totally. Something it doesn't. No, Sluggo doesn't keep earwigs away.
Actually, Sluggo Plus does.
Sluggo Plus
and
does.
And that actually worked wonders for us all of last year with our dahlias, because they did not get into our dahlias last year.
Because we treat everything around our garden, especially for the slugs and snails, with Sluggo Plus. That has helped with the earwigs. Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm glad you said that.
I know
because we use Sluggo, just regular old Sluggo, didn't do anything.
It didn't help
for the earwigs. They were everywhere, under the pots, on the plants, in the flowers. Then we started using Sluggo Plus. Yeah. They're pretty much going away. We find them every once in a while under some places where we haven't treated, but where we treat, they go away.
It's like you have to get out there every day and inspect all your plants, and who has time for that, right? That's why we didn't catch all the aphids getting onto the roses. We didn't even realize the roses were in bloom, and all of a sudden, as I looked closer, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, the rose is kind of off in the, it's
covered.
off in the the far 40. Back 40
it's
there
kind of
on the side of the garden, so we usually don't get out that way too often. But when we do, it's beautiful. It's a great,
it's a gorgeous rose.
Nice old rose plant. So we'll treat that probably today.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Let's we're gonna move on and show some pictures from an audience member's garden.
Okay.
We've got some awesome garden photos to show. And you guys know that you've been with us for a while, and as always, we love that. Thank you so much for being here. We encourage you to send us photos from your garden. We want to feature them on our live.
Yep. So please send them if you can, if you're willing to share with everybody and us, to Sean and Allison at spokengarden.com, and we'll use them in our next live video.
Yay!
Yeah. So here's some great photos from G. Baldessano, and thank you, G, for sending these to us and being so excited about gardening. It sounds like you're just on a roll. It sounds like you're doing so much, and you've obviously got some beautiful plants here.
Awesome. And what I love, and now he gave us permission to use some of these actually from his Instagram account, and we're so thankful for that. He has a lot of experiments going on, so that's really fun to watch. Like in the left there, that's a petunia ball experiment, and he made 2 of them, it sounds like. And G, chime in if I'm saying any of this, but I believe he named them Archimedes and Nostradamus, I think.
Oh, cool.
I know, that's super cool. So he's got a little experiment going on. He kind of, so there's a cool planting.
Nice.
Fun experiment, and then...
I love this collage in the center there. That's just beautiful, all those different plants. Yeah, geraniums, and I'm not sure what's in the center.
There's a lot. I see some hydrangeas.
Yeah, but lots of geraniums. Looks like there's a dianthus there, or a carnation.
Oh,
right
pretty,
there. And more petunias. Yeah, I love those hydrangeas.
So, what'd you see?
Lily.
Oh, a lily. Oh, pretty. So,
lower right-hand corner.
G, if you could pick one of your most favorite either plant projects or plants in your garden at this moment, what would it be? We'd love to. I know that's a hard question sometimes for us gardeners. We love them all. But do you have a favorite right now? Is there something that you're having a lot of fun with?
And the rest of you here today in the chat especially, let us know if you got a favorite plant. Is it impatiens? Is it roses?
I know. What is a favorite? I can't even think of my favorite. Do you have a favorite?
Rhododendron.
The rhodies?
Rhodies, right now, anyway.
Because they're so gorgeous.
Besides zinnias. Zinnias are always number one.
He loves, I love zinnias as well. But you have such a special connection and memory with zinnias. That's so fun. I don't think I have. I like everything. I mean, I literally got a huge box from Pruning the other day, and I loved every single plant that we pulled out of there.
Dianthus, cat,
coneflowers, catmint.
Oh,
yeah, it's just, you guys will see all this coming up. We've got some planting videos coming up.
Yeah,
but I can't get over it. It's kind of an obsession, I think.
Elephant ears, caladiums.
There's too many.
So,
oh, and I don't know if Dana is joining us this morning, and maybe we'll try to get with her, but Dana, have you seen any sprouting in your elephant ears yet?
Yeah, we want an update.
We would love to hear.
Totally, we were just talking about that.
We want to know. We want to know. We've been kind of digging, and we did find that they're coming closer to the surface.
Yeah, so. Yeah, ours are starting to come up. We gave them
always exciting.
A little bit of water, but not much, and so it's working well. So we want to know how yours are doing too.
Yeah.
Though. Yep, totally. So, all right. Again, if you have any photos of your garden or flowers you want to send us, Shauna and Allison at spokengarden.com. Really cool. We want to share them with everybody. So now our garden, what do we got going in our garden?
I don't know, we've got a lot of random things.
Oh, we got a couple things there. Yeah, golden chain is still.
Oh, that golden chain.
Is just really blooming now.
And the one in our backyard is just as like huge.
Beautiful.
They are just gorgeous plants.
Yeah. Now from the right of that center top, we got our lupins. Those are beautiful. Those are blooming even more than they did last year.
They've really spread.
And that was really fun. Allison looked it up because we got this from a seed pack, and these are considered a North American native variety of lupin. So it's really fun to always have native plants, but it's North American native. So, but lupins are just a beautiful plant, and we're really happy with it in our garden right now.
Well, and the bees just love it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Far right top there's our rose.
There's our rose.
That's the rose in the front yard.
And actually, if you look really close, there's an aphid right in the center of it. I just noticed that.
Gosh.
It's so pretty though, right? Look at that color. Oh, my grandma's.
Yeah,
rose.
So, and then Allison's got on the lower left-hand corner, Allison's dahlias are in full force.
You're calling them my dahlias now.
Popping.
Okay.
Well.
That's fun.
Right. So.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, the dahlias, you guys. We'll be planting those this weekend, so we'll keep you posted on that. That's a fun project.
Allison's dahlias, because she came up with the dahlia garden beds in the front yard, which we'll show you in an upcoming video here or two.
Which Sean created, and they looked amazing. They look amazing, you guys. I'm so just thankful. Okay, so we've got from a seed mix that took a couple years to get going. These are another seed mix from Eden Brothers. This was Daisy Crazy. We have this like grove of Shasta daisies. It's just crazy.
They weren't kidding. It is daisy crazy. There's so many different daisies in there. And they've been flowering for at least the last week now.
Yeah.
If not longer.
Definitely.
So yeah, it's definitely beautiful. It's just a carpet of daisies. And it's just not these Shasta daisies you see here, the big flowers, the big bright white flowers there. There's also English daisies mixed in there too.
I know, that's
fun. You might
fun.
not be able to see those. So yeah, definitely daisy crazy.
Daisy crazy. And then our beautiful, one of our hostas, we have several around the yard, but this one's just the shape of it and just the location. I just love it. It's kind of near our entrance to our driveway, and it's just like big and full, and those leaves are just huge. It's so fun.
So yeah, guys, that's what's going on in our garden.
I know, that's fun.
Oops. Let me go back to the camera there.
So there's, always projects and things going on, but it's just fun to be able to talk about those things. And I think Kim was mentioning she loves that golden chain. She's never maybe heard of that before or seen that. And it is a gorgeous plant.
It is. It's beautiful. The one we showed you in the picture here, that's in our front yard. It's about as old as everything else in the garden that was originally planted. That tree's got to be at least 50 years old.
Yeah,
it's big. And it's right underneath some power lines, so it's been trimmed a lot over the years, and we got to get in there, clean it up. But it would be a lot taller than it is right now if it wasn't underneath those power lines. But unfortunately, it was planted there. And but it's thriving. It's doing really good.
It's so beautiful when it is in full bloom, and the bees just like are all over it. I mean, it literally sounds like just this buzzing of just activity.
It does. It's crazy.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
So it's in the pea family. That's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Okay, so a couple things here. So Real Jingy, your idea about Sluggo sounds like an old-time gangster movie. Sluggo. I'm still cracking up for that.
That's funny.
That is hilarious. Let's see, a couple other things. G. Baldessano says his current project and excitement will be planting 300 gladiolus corms and making the mixed design pots of glads. So he's kind of mixing them up.
Oh, that
He's
sounds
mixing
fun.
a blue and purple glad pot, and he's naming it Stitch. That's cute.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Wow, cool.
So, and then Real Jingy had a great question. Do you think it's okay or safe to keep elephant ear soil kind of moist with 2 to 3 a week waterings? Kind of depends.
Well, it depends, but also if it's actively growing, yes.
If the green is like above the surface, right?
Yeah, if it's actively growing, yes. If you haven't seen the stem pop up out of the soil yet, water it very sparingly.
Maybe once a week?
Maybe, if that. I mean, we watered, when we planted ours, we planted them at the right depth, and then we initially watered them, but we didn't soak them in. We just gave them a quick watering. I know that's not really as technical as probably some of you out there might want, but we just gave them a little bit of water to moisten the soil a little bit, but then we left them alone for like a week at least. And they were in our greenhouse on the heating mat to keep them warm and keep that soil temperature up. But yeah, we didn't water them a lot until we started, well, we haven't really started seeing them come up
But they're
yet.
close.
They're very close. Yeah. We went in there and dug around just to see if the stems were coming up, and they are. So we're super, super excited. But once, when we reburied them, once they really pop out of the ground and they really start growing above that soil surface, then we're going to start regularly watering them. But until then, we're kind of just, we're hanging tight. We're kind of hanging back on the water. So.
I know, it's kind of like, I mean, it's not, for example, dahlias, another spring bulb obviously, but dahlias, you're not supposed to actually even water at all until you start seeing the green poke out of the surface.
Yep.
I mean, we kind of cheated on that a little bit, but all of our dahlias are thriving, so we know that did work. Yep. And we're not playing that with we're not using the same methods entirely for the elephant ears.
It's a little different, but not much. It's a little different, but not much. But so the thing is, guys, is you want to think about this maybe from this standpoint. If the plant's actively growing and it has leaves and it's got stems and it's growing in that sense, it's transpiring. It's actually, it needs moisture to get in the leaves and its rest of its plant parts to stay hydrated, so its other functions can keep going, so it can photosynthesize and do all these other things that it wants to do. If it's not actively growing, it doesn't need that water. It doesn't have a use for it. So when that happens, if it's not actively growing and you water it a lot, it has a really good chance of just rotting because it's just moisture constantly around it. It can't use all that moisture, and so it just sits in the really moist, wet soil. And so just make sure with the dahlias especially, but with elephant ears too, that we're seeing in ours, if it's not actively growing, don't continually water it all the time. So
I think that's what happened with some of our canna lily bulbs potentially, because we had them outside in the ground, and I think they maybe rotted. Yep. So that's kind of a bummer, but
totally. So hopefully that answers your question, Real Jingy.
That helped.
We want you to be successful with your elephant ears. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. But as far as this episode, you guys, I think we're about, I know some people, like Kim had to leave already, and we're thankful, Kim, that you joined us today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And it is kind of a holiday weekend,
we
so
still need to do our
we've got a quick weekly roundup.
Yep.
Let's do that really quick.
Okay. So cool. Yep. So,
just a really quick
guys,
roundup.
this last week we did a May garden tour. You might have seen it, you might have not. If not, go check it out. It was fun. We walked throughout the whole, I think we started in the front and then we went to the back. And we pointed out all sorts of fun stuff. There's a lot going on actually right now. And we didn't do a short this week, so we just didn't get that done. And so, but next week we're coming back hard with the short. It'll be fun.
Definitely.
We miss doing those. And then we did a garden care Q&A on Wednesday. That was fun.
That was fun.
Yeah. So that was just like what we did here on the live, where we answered a couple of audience members' questions. And then yesterday we had the oak leaf acanthus on the plant chat.
I know, that's so fun. And I'm sorry to some of you that got that a little late. We got that out a little late yesterday. But
sorry guys.
That was a fun one. That's a great plant.
Yeah, so versatile.
Oh, it's so
awesome
cool.
Plant.
So thank you to those of you that were able to catch our videos and comment on them. We really appreciate that.
Yep. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Yep.
We love hearing
the comments
from
and
you
questions.
guys and your questions.
Yep.
But I think that's probably it. We wish you all a great Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah. And happy Memorial Day, you guys. All happy thoughts. Remember those our fallen heroes. Remember them well, and enjoy your gardens. Obviously,
hopefully you're able to get out and have some fun in your garden.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if you already have, I just thought of this. Maybe if you already have red, white, and blue plants, maybe just they're kind of in pots or spread out. Maybe bring them together and put them together on Monday. Just have a red, white, and blue Memorial Day garden.
That's fun.
I don't know.
Oh, that's cute.
So but Thank you guys for being here.
Thank you for being here and joining us, and just enjoy your weekend. We'll see you guys next week. We're going to be talking about sensory gardens.
Awesome.
So we've got some fun. We're excited about that one.
Sensory gardens.
That's a fun topic. So sensory gardens, therapeutic gardens, you know, kind of that topic. So. So we hope to see you here next Saturday, and have a great week, you guys.
See you next Saturday,
Bye,
guys.
Everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.